Hey everyone, so today I'm going to prove some nice inequalities, okay, in calculus. So whenever you want to prove some inequality in calculus, usually, there can be plenty of approach, but usually the two approaches are sufficient. One approach is you try to apply the mean value theorems, either Lagrange mean value theorem or Cauchy mean value theorem. And if you're not able to apply the theorem, then there is another concept of increasing decreasing. So all these things I have recorded earlier. You can see my previous lectures. So whenever you want to prove a question on inequality, either try to apply mean value theorems or you go by the concept of increasing decreasing. Okay, both has its pros and cons. Like for if you want to apply mean value theorem, what is the main thing? You should know function. So sometimes when you look at the inequality, it is easy to guess the function, and once you guess the function, you try to apply mean value theorem. But it's not always easy to find the function. In such a scenario, we use the concept of increasing decreasing. So I'm going to prove 5 inequalities, and at some places we will see it's easy to define the function, so we go by mean value theorems, and some places it is difficult to define a function or it's not easy to visualize at the first shot. Then in such scenario you can go by increasing decreasing. So let's go for the first one. So now I want to prove that this inequality is true for any xy belongs to real numbers. Okay, so difference of tan inverse is less equal the difference of the inputs x and y. Now see, looking at the inequality, you can think that okay, let me choose my f of t as a function as tan inverse of t, because in the inequality I have tan inverse. Okay, and here you can take the interval x comma y where x is less than y. Now once you have a function and if you want to apply mean value theorem, two conditions should be satisfied. Is this continuous? Yes. Is this differentiable? Yes. The derivative is 1 upon 1 plus t square. So it exists for any real number. So it is continuous and differentiable. So therefore by Lagrange mean value theorem, there exists C belongs to xy such that your f dash of C, what is derivative? 1 upon 1 plus t square. So what is f dash of C? 1 upon 1 plus c square is equal to f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. Correct? Okay, now I want mod in the inequality, so you take mod on both sides. Okay, now here I want tan inverse first, so you can take out minus outside. So this is nothing but tan inverse of x minus tan inverse of y. Here also you can take out minus outside, it will get cancelled upon x minus y. Fine, and this is nothing but 1 upon 1 plus c square. Why I have removed mod? Because one is positive, c square is always positive for any c, so this ratio is positive, so no need to take mod. Second point, see, your denominator is always bigger than numerator, because this is 1 and denominator is 1 plus some non-zero quantity, right? Or suppose if c is 0, you have it's equal, and if c is non-zero, then denominator is bigger. So that means what? Since our denominator is bigger equal numerator, therefore this quantity is always less equal 1. So therefore this quantity is less equal 1, right? And what do you have? Now you take x minus 1 y over here. So what I have is, you have mod of tan inverse minus tan y is less equal mod of x minus y. So there's the proof of this inequality. So here you could easily guess the function, and that's why we applied LMVT. Let's take second example where there also is easy to see the function, and we will prove it using LMVT. So here is the second inequality involving sine inverse. Okay, so now here this is the inequality we need to prove. So now here what function you will choose? You take f of x as sine inverse of x, and you take the interval a comma b. Fine, because I want to prove it b and a. So again sine inverse is continuous and differentiable, so therefore by Lagrange mean value theorem there exists a c such that f dash of c is equal to f of b minus f of a. So what is f of b? It is sine inverse of b minus sine inverse of a upon b minus a equal to derivative at c. What is derivative of sine inverse? It is 1 upon root of 1 minus c square, f dash of c. So therefore c in place of x. Okay, good. So now this we have. Now you can take b minus a over here. So this is nothing but b minus a upon this. Now this should be bounded between these two values, right? So I have b minus a. What I don't have is these two quantities, and in place of this I have c in between. Now what is your c? By mean value theorem, the c is between a and b, right? C belongs to open interval AB. Now let me call this one. Okay, so now since c is between a and b, I have this inequality. Now you try to bring this over here. So what is the first step? You do square on all three sides. Then you multiply by minus sign because it is minus c square. So when you multiply by minus sign, inequality will be reversed. Then you add 1 because I want 1 minus. So if I add positive number, inequality will remain the same. Now you take square root. Now your square root is an increasing function. So therefore, for an increasing function, inequality remains the same, right? If you recall, if x is less than y and f is increasing, so when you apply f, inequality remains the same. You can see my lecture on increasing, decreasing if you don't remember this. So this is what I have. Now when I take the reciprocal, because I want this in the denominator, so when I take the reciprocal, inequality will change. So less than root of 1 minus c square less than 1 upon root 1 minus b square. Now I have b minus a, it's a positive quantity. So now we multiply by b minus a. So when I multiply by b minus a, inequality remains the same. And that's all. What is this quantity? By 1, this quantity is nothing but sin inverse b minus sin inverse a. So you substitute this over here and you get your proof. Okay, so this quantity is nothing but sin inverse b minus sin inverse a. So when you substitute, you get the answer. So like we saw these two examples, it was easy to define a function by looking at the inequality. Now let's try to take an example where it is not that obvious, but we can define. Okay, so let's see that example. So here is the function. So now I want to prove this is true for all x which is between 0 to pi by 2, because at pi by 2 it is not defined. So I'm taking positive which is less than pi by 2. Now how will I do this? So I will prove this in two ways. First, we will try to define a function and go by LMVT. And second thing, if we are not able to define the function, then how to do? So here you take your function f of t. As you can see, tan is involved, so you take tan t. So that was the obvious thing. But now what interval you will take? Now I have to prove this. What I know that x is greater than 0. So I can take the interval 0 comma x. Where what is x? It is a number which is a fixed x. But then it has a range. It can't go beyond pi by 2 and it is greater than 0. So this is an interval. Okay. So now function is continuous over this interval. Good. So now I can apply LMVT. Not an issue. So what is LMVT says? It is f of b minus f of a upon b minus a is equal to f dash of c. Means it is 1 upon, derivative of tan is nothing but sec square of c. So this is what you have, where c is between 0 to x. So here the trick was, function was easy to define, choosing interval was little bit tricky. So now I told you, so now this is easy. So tan 0 is 0. So I have tan x upon x. And what is secant square? If you remember the range of sec, it is from minus infinity to minus 1 and 1 to infinity. So when you take the square, obviously it is always greater than 1. Okay, so therefore your tan x in that range, okay, my x is from 0 to pi by 2, it will not be 0. That's why I'm not writing equality sign. So I have tan x is greater than x. So this was by one way, by using LMVT. But now suppose if you don't know, if you're not able to choose the function or the interval, then what you should do? Then comes increasing, decreasing into nature. So what you do is, you take one of them on either side. Either you take x on the left side or tan x on the right side, whichever way you want. So this is my function. Now you try to find the derivative. What is derivative of this? Now this is, my x is what? X is greater than 0, right? That is given to me. So what is my f dash of x? It is nothing but sec square of x minus 1. Is the derivative positive or negative? Since this is greater than 1, therefore my derivative is always positive. So since the derivative is positive, that means what? Your function is increasing. So now, as your 0 is less than x, okay, it's given to us. So therefore, your f of 0 will also be less than f of x. because your function is an increasing function. But what is f of 0? Tan 0 minus 0, which is 0. What is f of x? Tan x minus x. You bring x on this side, so what I have? X is less than tan x. Okay, so that's how one can use the trick of increasing decreasing. Now let's go for the next function, where you have to go by this method. So here is the fourth inequality. Now I don't know what function should I choose. Initially I thought e raised to x upon x, something like that, but I couldn't get success. If you can guess a function and prove this, please comment your answer in the comment section. Okay, I'm eager to see what function and interval should I choose to get this inequality. But since I don't know, so what I will do, I will take the help of this function, increasing decreasing technique. So what is f of x? It is e raised to x minus 1 minus x square by 2. Okay, now you find f dash of x. What is this? E raised to x minus 1 minus x. Now do you know whether it is positive or negative? I don't know whether it is positive or negative. Actually I know, but usually students don't know whether this is positive or negative. In that case, what you should do, you take again derivative. So f dash of double dash of x is what? E raised to x minus 1. Okay, now you can say whether this is positive or negative. See, what is the graph of e raised to x? Passes through 1. But it is given to me that x is positive, so I am not interested on the negative part. So for x positive, my e raised to x is always bigger than 1, strictly bigger than 1. So therefore this is always bigger than 1, therefore this is always bigger than 0. So f double dash is positive, this means what? Your f dash is increasing, correct? Your f dash is increasing. Okay, good. Now, so your 0 is less than x, so therefore your f dash of 0 is less than f dash of x, because my f dash is increasing. Cool. What is f dash of 0? E raised to 0 is 1, 1 minus 1, so this is 0. F dash of x is as it is, e raised to x minus 1 minus x. So what do you get? With the help of f double dash, I am getting that my f double dash of x is greater than 0. And as soon as my f double dash is greater than 0, what I know? As soon as my f dash is greater than 0, I know that my f is increasing. So I don't know, I was not knowing whether f dash was positive or negative, so I took help of f double dash. Using f double dash positive, we showed f dash is increasing. And using the fact that f dash is increasing, we showed f dash is positive. As soon as f dash is positive, we know f is increasing. So therefore 0 less than x implies f of 0 less than f of x. What is f of 0? E raised to 0 is 1, it is 0, less than f of x, e raised to x minus 1 minus x square by 2. You take all these three terms on the left hand side, you get the answer. See, so that's how one can use the technique of increasing and decreasing if it is difficult to choose the function. Okay, now let's conclude the lecture by taking a last example. So here is a last example. Now again, if you see this in exam, at first shot it is difficult to choose the function. So you will go by increasing, decreasing. But for homework, let me tell you that you take your f of t as ln of 1 plus t. And you take the interval 0, x. Okay, your x is greater than 0, any number greater than 0. So you take this as an interval and this as a function, and you try to prove it. Okay, you will get the inequality in 3-4 lines. So that's the plus point of LMVT, that once you choose the function and interval, inequality comes out very easily. But if it is not possible to choose a function, then you go by increasing, decreasing. That will never, most of the times it will never make you sad. Okay, it will always help you up. So you take a f of x. Let's first solve the left inequality, then we will solve the right inequality. So you take whichever you want. Suppose you take ln of 1 plus x minus x upon 1 plus x. Okay, so now what is the derivative? F dash of x is 1 upon 1 plus x minus, what is the derivative of this? You have to apply u upon v rule. So denominator into derivative of numerator minus numerator into derivative of denominator upon 1 plus x whole square. and if I can see plus x minus x goes away, 1 upon 1 plus x minus 1 upon 1 plus x square. And if I adjust this 1 plus x over here, I have 1 plus x minus 1. So I have x upon 1 plus x square. So you can just see the calculation. So this is my derivative. And as you can see, my x is positive. Denominator is the square of something. So this is positive. So the ratio is positive. Right? So since the derivative is positive, this implies what? Your function is increasing. Now what is given to me? 0 is less than x. So when I take the function, because of the increasing nature, f of 0 is less than f of x. What is f of 0? Ln of 1 plus 0. So ln of 1 is 0 and that is 0. So f of 0 is 0 less than ln of 1 plus x minus x upon 1 plus x. You take this on the left hand side, you get the left inequality. Okay. Now let's try to go for the right inequality. See, so there's the problem. If you can't choose the function, you need to prove the inequality one by one. But if you can choose the function, you get both the inequalities at one shot. So now to prove this inequality, let me take a different name. Let g of x equal to ln of 1 plus x minus x. Now what is the derivative? G dash of x is what? 1 upon 1 plus x minus 1. Now here your x is strictly greater than 0. So for this quantity is less than 1 because the denominator is bigger than numerator. So this is less than 1. So for this is negative. As g dash is negative, so g is decreasing. So now as your 0 is less than x, so when I apply the g function, inequality will reverse. For decreasing function, inequality reverses. What is g of 0? It is 0 because ln of 1 is 0 minus 0 greater than ln of 1 plus x minus x. You bring the x over here, you get the right inequality. So you combine 1 and 2 inequality, you get the answer. Right? So if you can choose the function I told you at the start for this example, you try it by that way also, you will get the answer in 2-3 lines. But yeah, during exam you have pressure and it's difficult to choose the function. No problem, go by this increasing decreasing technique. So yeah, I hope all these 5 examples are clear. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. And if it is clear, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.